Hey folks, thanks for joining. It's a lot more people than I expected. Who's here to hear about payments, chain abstraction, something else? Who's here by accident? Oh, wow. Yeah, thanks so much for joining all. Awesome, beautiful day in Cannes. Great time to spend it in this dark room here, I guess. My name's Derek. I'm the CTO at Reown, formerly known as WalletConnect. And today I'm going to talk about less clicks is more, and basically improving some standards that are improving the user experience in Ethereum and honestly also in other networks. And I'm going to get to my credentials to speak to the subject in a second, but first, a word about Reown. So Reown is the company that builds WalletConnect. I'm sure most of you are familiar with WalletConnect. And we have two SDKs. We build tools for developers mainly. We have an SDK that's called AppKit. It's live in thousands of applications in Ethereum and also in non-Ethereum. So you've probably seen this. It's a market leader in the space. And yeah, you can connect wallets, and it also comes with an onboarding wallet in case the developers want to support that use case for mainly for normies. And then we have an SDK called WalletKit that's in over 700 wallets. You've probably used a wallet that supports it. And beyond just connecting a wallet, it also supports some advanced features like chain abstraction, which I'm going to cover in my talk today. To kick it off, I'm really thrilled. Yesterday, WalletConnect announced round 2 of its certified program. And this is really crucial for the substance of what I'm talking about today, because basically it's a mechanism of how wallets agree on basically which standards you need to support in order to get this badge. And it's proven to be a really successful tool in getting adoption of some of the modern UX standards across the top wallets. So now, as an example, one less click standard is the one-click authentication standard. I'll show a video of it in a second. And now most Ethereum users through this program that use mobile wallets, where this is where the clicks are the biggest problem, now have a wallet or use a wallet that supports these modern standards. So you can see a list of the logos on the bottom. So really all the top wallets in Ethereum are part of this program and support these standards. Doing standards is really hard, and improving the UX is really hard. The technical solution usually is a complete no-brainer. But then actually getting these standards adopted is extremely hard, and much harder than I would have expected when I joined the space a couple of years ago. An example is the ERP-5792 standard, which is Ethereum's batch transaction standard. I'm a very proud co-author of this standard, but basically in Ethereum, you've probably seen this for a swap, for instance, this user flow where you have to approve a token in ERC-20, and then you have to do this in your wallet, and then to actually swap the token, you have to do another interaction in the wallet. So that's pretty painful and often doesn't work. It's extremely painful if you use a multi-sig wallet, and where you may have multiple signers, and now they need to sign two things. And here, this pie chart basically shows this adoption of that standard. We've reinvigorated the standard 2 years ago, and 2 years later, this is how much adoption the new standard has. So it's really early innings, and I expect that it's going to take another 2 years until this new standard, the new delightful standard, is going to take over the old one. The new standard also supports things like gas abstraction, so the dApp can actually sponsor the gas. But yeah, I expect it's going to take another 2 years. We did some other standards like this, the EIP-6963 standard, for instance, that gave users the ability to have multiple browser extension wallets installed. This really ushered in competition between browser extensions. We did this a couple of years ago, and yeah, it also took over 2 years to really be adopted by apps. One thing to motivate what we're discussing today is this one-click authentication standard. So same story in Ethereum, roughly 20% of applications we observed were using sign-in with Ethereum. So you actually had to sign a message in order to log in to the app. So the flow was connect wallet and then sign a message. So 2 context switches to the wallet to actually get started. And I'll show a video of how this is now being done in just one step. There's an app called 8lens, and I'm using Trust Wallet here in this video. So yeah, you can see this was just one step. You know, it's a small deal, but it's actually a really big deal. And it's a big deal because this standard was the first time that we did it as a CAPE. A CAPE is a chain agnostic improvement proposal. So basically not an Ethereum improvement proposal, but it covers all networks. So this was the first time we did something like this. And also the first time that we made it backwards compatible. So if you use a wallet that doesn't support the standard, then it falls back to these two wallet interactions. And also the first time that this standard was part of this WalletConnect certified program. So the first time that we use this mechanism to really get the adoption a lot faster. And now over 20 wallets, the top 20 Ethereum mobile wallets support the standard, which means most users have a wallet that supports this. And we have 150 apps that already use the standard. Many of them probably don't know about it because they use an app SDK like the WalletKit SDK that we provide that handles this for apps. And so now this is what I actually want to talk about. This is push payments. So the talk of the town is stablecoins. For me, a really big deal because I worked at Venmo before. So it was also a wallet, but a custodial Web2 wallet. And we did a lot in commerce. So we integrated into Amazon for e-commerce and CVS in the United States for point of sale and a bunch of other merchants. And basically, today's crypto push payment experience, a push payment is a payment where the end user just transfers some value as opposed to a pull payment, which could be a subscription or an authorization. Those are things that we're going to need, that crypto is going to need for Web2 feature parity, but for now, just push payments. And the current push payment experience, for instance, on Stripe, which uses WalletConnect for in their payments flow, is you have these 4 steps, or in Stripe's case, actually 5 steps, in order to carry out this push payment. So it's obviously pretty painful. And we track roughly 10 to 20 payment service providers that have a WalletConnect integration or use our WalletKit Pay SDK. So this is also growing quite a lot, and the volume is growing quite a lot. But the user experience is quite painful. One more intimate anecdote: before Venmo, I worked at Amazon, and Bozo famously always said that 50 milliseconds represent roughly $1 million lost, and this is 10 years ago. So my personal bias is very much to improving the latency of experiences like this. And for payments, there's some prior art. There's ERC-7811. It's 3 digits, which means it's pretty old. That was basically a single chain and a single token. And there's Solana Pay, which is also a single chain and a single token. And now there's CAPE 358, which is pretty nascent. If you want to contribute to some standards, then this is actually a good one to maybe leave some comments and contribute to get your feet wet. And EIPs can also reference CAPEs. Doesn't really mean a lot, but in the Ethereum world and standards world, it means a lot that you can put up an EIP and just reference something else. And this standard, it's very simple and on a technical layer, but once adopted, could be a really big deal because unlike Solana Pay and ERC-681, here the dApp can just send many tokens on many different networks. And that enables really the wallet and the end user in the wallet to just decide, okay, I'm going to pay on this network and this token. It also enables chain abstraction, like when Stripe says, hey, send me, I don't know, 10 USDC on base, and you only have USDT on Polygon or something, then if the wallet supports chain abstraction, you can just fulfill that. So most likely, currently we're working with wallets and the WalletConnect Council on whether this is going to be a requirement for the next round of certified, which it's going to look like. So this means that most likely early next year, most Ethereum users will have a wallet that supports this one-click and push payment checkout experience, which I think is it's going to be a really big deal for real-world adoption. Currently, for instance, in New York, with Shift 4 now, you can pay in, I think it's called the Tao nightclub, or some of the nightclubs, you can pay with crypto. The use case for them, by the way, is because they get some people from abroad who have so much money that their credit cards can't pay these nightclub bills. So now they can use, so that's a real world crypto use case where they have credit cards. It's just they can't fulfill a $20,000, I don't know, champagne bottle in the nightclub. So yeah, solving problems. Not sure if solves your problems. Doesn't solve mine, but it's very important way to get there. And it's obviously both relevant for e-commerce, which the left image here wants to depict, but also point of sale. So in the town nightclub, for instance, it's not 4 steps, it's 5, because the first step is you see a QR code on the point of sale. There's no NFC, and then the QR code opens in your phone browser. And yeah, Reown have an SDK as part of our WalletKit SDK that makes this smooth for payment service providers, so they don't need to handle the fallback and whatnot, and you can also pay with custodial funds. So that's CAPE 358. Again, if you want to get your feet wet with some standards, put it in ChatGPT and see what you can improve. And the next thing I'm going to talk about is chain and stablecoin abstraction. So this screenshot here motivates the problem a little bit. Myself, I use multiple stablecoins. I'm maybe not the average Joe, but I looked into it, and 15% of USDC users have USDC on multiple accounts, and the number is also trending up. So this is actually a real end user problem. Obviously, there's a plethora of stablecoins coming out now. The Robinhood announcement from yesterday with I think it's the Global Dollar Alliance, shows that end users will have not just USDC or USDT. So it's a real problem. And I want to show a solution that we have and then outline the problem a little bit and how standards also come into play here. So here you can see a sample app using the Reown WalletKit SDK, which has an embedded wallet which supports chain abstraction. So, and you can see that the app can actually show the end user that they don't have enough funds to fulfill the transaction. The end user only has 45 cents on this network, but now you can see that it's just basically pulling the funds from base. And yeah, that was it. So basically a chain abstracted experience, plus the app was aware that the wallet had the capability of chain abstraction. And which is, again, it's actually pretty simple on the technical side, but it's really hard to get this adopted. And what you need is a wallet that supports chain abstraction. In this case, this wallet that you saw uses the Reown WalletKit SDK. Again, that's in over 600 wallets, but they don't all have this enabled. And then in this case, our technical approach is very naive. It just figures out, okay, you don't have enough of the target token on target chain. You don't have enough of that, but figures out that it can bridge and swap to get there. And then, yeah, basically just bridges and swaps and then fulfills the original intent. So it's pretty naive, but the solution also has the benefit there's no vendor lock-in and you don't need smart accounts. So it doesn't have to be 7702, which is all amazing stuff, better end user experience, better latency. But yeah, this is at the other end of the spectrum where it just works everywhere. And then what you saw in the app, basically the capability of the app to understand that the user has funds on other networks was done using the ERC-7811 standard. It's called WalletGet Assets. And basically when the wallet connected, it disclosed, hey, I support this method. And then the app was able to check, hey, how much of USDC on this token, on this network do you have? And then the wallet responded with an aggregated balance, basically, with everything that the wallet can bridge and swap over. So again, this is very simple. The diagram is very simple. It gets a bit more complex when you take into account that the wallet, in many cases, is actually not online, so you can't just call this. So there's a wallet service in between and whatnot. But yeah, the standard itself is very simple, but it's going to take years to really get this adopted. Now there's a few apps that already support this, but yeah, I expect this is going to take a few years. It's a really big deal though, because in payments, like currently, like obviously, if you hold, I don't know, 5 USDC on every network and you want to buy a coffee for, if you live in New York, $20 or whatever a coffee costs there now, then yeah, you want to probably not have to bridge and swap back and forth in order to do that. So it's a really big deal, just going to take a long time to get adopted. And this one too, it's not in final, so if you want to contribute to a standard, and this is a good one to look at. And that's it. Any questions?
If you're going to ask a question, we only have room for one question. We ran a little late today. We have a speaker here in 4 minutes. So just raise your hand and I'll bring the mic to you. That
Cool.
means you're a really
Thank you
great
all.
speaker. Oh, you got one? You got one?
I mean, tell us about those shades, Derek.
Okay, can we save this question for outside then?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Derek. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you. Thanks all for joining today.